All right. Well, Murphy's back, of course, because frankly, I forgot to turn my mic back on. So let's start again. My name is Brian Donahue. I am the One-Legged GM. Today we are doing a layout and design where you get to look, instead of over my shoulder, at my screen. As I was saying before, realized that, yeah, I know that's all my fault, folks. Thank you, Danielle. I see you're on as mod, which is awesome. Smoketail, you're in here. Cool. No, it's all my fault. I forgot to turn on my mic because I turn it off so you don't hear me muttering and cursing when stuff goes wrong before I actually start. So, where was I? Oh, anyways, the cool thing is today you guys get to see the first glimpse of layout design for a brand new project that was just funded through Kickstarter by Luke Hart, DM Lair. I work on a lot of his layout programs, or a lot of his monthly layouts for his Patreon stuff, D&D and Pathfinder 2 materials, which are awesome. He just ran a recent Kickstarter for Lairs and Legends 2, which is a 2-book massive undertaking, somewhere around 400 pages each. If I had thought about it before I grabbed the link and stuff, I'll toss it in the Discord server at some point. I think you can still do some pre-order stuff, but he chose me to do his layout for this, so I'm happy to do it. It's very different for me than his normal monthly stuff, but I'm happy to be able to do this, and I'm even happier that I get to show it off to you folks first. The cool thing is that what you're seeing today, he hasn't even seen yet, because you guys are seeing it while I'm designing it. Now, of course, they get he and his main project manager, of course, get weekly updates from me, all the stuff that I'm doing. But you guys are seeing this actually first. So, yeah, you'll see how some of the stuff we're doing. This is a very different way of doing projects for me. Normally have a whole lot more control over, or a whole lot more activity, picking artwork and that sort of thing, which you guys have seen before if you've watched any of these. This I don't have. This is laid out very differently. However, I am actually creating an image to be laid out that he asked me to do. It's a puzzle explainer for the GM. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But without further ado, I think, first of all, thank you so much for everybody involved in helping us to hit associate level with Twitch. That's awesome. We made it. Thank you very much. And of course, we took a month off because of life. We're sorry about that too. But we're back. We're moving. All that being said, as associates, we do have to run ads. So I'm trying something new this time. I have to run about 3 minutes of ads every hour to make stuff work well. So I've got I decided to lump them all together this time to give me a little bit of a break in case I need to, use the facilities or whatever. But we're actually going to lump all 3 minutes together, smack dab in the middle of the first hour, and then we'll do it smack dab in the middle of the second hour. At least that's how I think I did it. I'm still getting used to the ads manager. It's my fault if it goes wonky. Sorry. So I'll let you know. I will see, and actually Danielle will see as well, when stuff is coming up for ads. And Danielle, we're going to let the ads run this time. We're not going to do any pauses. We're just going to let them run. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get into stuff. We'll crank up the music. We'll play the music. And then I'll show you what I'm working on, and we'll go from there. Sound good? Cool. All right, let me go ahead and change. And we're going to start the music again. If the music gets too loud, let me know. If it's too soft, if you can't hear it, let me know that as well. I'm going to try to keep an eye on our stuff here. Let's see here. Can you guys even hear the music? I hope so, because it's actually kind of cool. Anyways, it's not an ad for them, but I use a service called Pretzel Rocks, which is Twitch and YouTube safe music. And I can't hear it. Man, dang it. Let's see, where's that? Now can you hear it? Let me know if you can hear it now. It should be fairly soft in the background. And it's a really weird playlist called Chill EDM, which I didn't think was actually possible, but apparently it is. So, on my screen in front of me, I have a layout. So this is a graphic that I have to do. It's basically a puzzle solution for a puzzle that's in this chapter that I'm getting ready to lay out. So the green, the color, various colors. You even see my, I don't think you can actually, oh, you can, cool. So the various colors in the corners are actually statues. They move in specific ways on specific round counts, and then they speed up, which is particularly evil and genius, and I dig it. I may have to steal this one for one of my games because it's fun. Yeah, the worst part for my gamers is that I get to see all of Luke's cool content and steal it when I want to. Fortunately for my gamers, he normally writes fantasy stuff, so I don't have to get into much of that. Yeah, that was me adjusting my own volume. I keep forgetting that it shows up on screen. Anyways, lots and lots of fun. So, pull this off to the side so I can see what I'm doing. Right now I'm kind of laying out all kinds of stuff. What do these stand for? I don't even remember what they stand for. Where is it? There it is. Oh, that worked well. Wow, all kinds of stuff going on. Yay! No, stop. So what you're currently seeing is the starting part for that. I apparently screwed up and grabbed the wrong image window. Anyways, I need you. Let's see here. Actually popped up correctly. All right. Let's see here. So for this one, oops. Where was the graphic? There's the graphic. All right. So the S is a scout, A is archer, M is militia, and H is horseman. Those are the statues that are moving and basically mushing characters if they run into them. And meanwhile, the statue in the middle that's represented by the square also tends to basically give them a death glare when it's facing them, and it moves every round. So, yay! Sucks to be the players in this one. Now let's go ahead and see what's next. Okay. So that's round one. Let's go to round two. In round two, of course, we're going to... Why do I need that there? All right, round two, I need to do this first. Yeah, it's in D&D terms, it's a pretty ugly puzzle. He's got clues and everything to it, but it's a trap. It's a pretty nasty trap, which is kind of fun. I have learned far more about being devious just by laying out his projects, which is scary for my players, frankly, because I'm evil enough as it is. But let's move on. All right, so in this case, Scout is green. So Scout's going to move. Wait, that doesn't make sense. This Scout should be there. Oh, there we go. So Scout moves from there to there. Militia move from there to there. Our horse rider moves from there to there. And our archer moves from there to there. Let's see. This is where it gets fun, because it's basically I'm creating this whole cloth. So it's going to get that. So for us, nine. To green, so we show the right color moving. Undo that. There. We add an arrow just to show. What's interesting is that every of these triangles is slightly different. There's no good way for me to do it the same. It's up here. So for those that missed it, on last weekend we were at Capital City Comic Con, which was awesome. It was a weird con. It was just was a fun con. It always is a fun con. We had some really great panels. It was our busiest day was Saturday, or I'm sorry, Sunday. Normally Saturday is the busiest day at any con. For me and a lot of the vendors I talked to, Sunday was actually the busiest day, which was just bizarre. Not that I'm complaining at all. It's gonna be but that will be our last show until November, Grand Rapids Comic Con, which kind of sucks, but it's good because I have other projects like this to do. Look for us there. I'll be in guest row. I will have some amazing people running demos of both games, the card game and the tabletop game, in the gaming area. And this will be the first time. It'll be really interesting because not only am I in the gaming room, or not only am I in guest row, but OLGM, the company, is actually going to be in and amongst the vendors. So I will effectively have two booths, although I will be spending all of my time at the guest booth. But I have some amazing people who will be that was bad. If you're wondering what I did there, I actually just merged everything together into one flat file, which would, well, it broke everything. But anyways, so it's going to be an interesting, it's going to be a really interesting show for us. I have, I think, 5 panels currently scheduled, including 2 live performances. We've got, for those who are a fan of the live show, we will be doing that again this year. And this time we're not starting with any pre-gen characters. All of you in the audience are going to help torture my players with that, which will be really, really fun. And we're adding an element of scary to it for the players, for my players anyways, and for me, frankly, as a GM, because this is more fun. We're actually going to be offering what we call plot points. Not quite, kind of like, but not quite as powerful as Destiny points. But we will be selling them. And the only reason we're selling them is because we're actually going to be donating all of the proceeds from that sale to the Great Lakes Amputee Support Network here in West Michigan, which does an amazing job of supporting amputees like myself. So every dollar raised, I'm not even taking out any money for credit card fees or anything like that. Everything that we raise is absolutely going to be, you're right, everything that's raised is going directly to Great Lakes Amputee Support Network. Now, the test that we're doing with this is something that is the reason why Danielle is happy to not be there this time, although we will miss them. Instead of die rolls or affecting the die roll directly, whenever somebody uses a plot point, either positive or negative, the player who's running the character we'll end up drawing a Cards Against Humanity card, and that will affect the roll, whatever it says. Which could be silly. It could be terrifying. And yes, I am absolutely editing the cards that are pulled, that are able to be pulled, because no, on some of them. Yeah, it's going to be a blast, quite literally. So that's that's our live show, which has become a running tradition, and an awesome tradition, frankly. It will be a slightly different cast this year because Danielle's not going to be there. So we'll see what all is happening. That's one of the panels. We're going to be doing a live stream edition of our Hidden Worlds Discoveries, which we do on Wednesday nights. So all the zaniness that is... Has it really been? Oh my gosh, it has been almost half an hour. Cool. Ad break coming up in 5 minutes. Thanks for catching that, Danielle. But yeah, so all the sheer madness that is our Hidden Worlds Discoveries will be live at Grand Rapids Comic Con for a panel for however many people are there, which means it's going to get really, really fun and absolutely insane. And as always, everything's going to be canon in the world because I'm just that nuts. So yeah. That's two of the... So, live show, live world building, Hidden Worlds Discoveries. And then... What else do I have going on? Oh. One more gaming-related panel. I've got a... I don't know where I'm at. See, I just get talking to you guys and just forget what I'm doing. So we're David Cassidy, Rob O'Neill, and I will be doing a panel on how to create a card game without going broke-ish. It's going to be a blast to do. And yeah. So we'll be doing that. That's usually good for a morning style thing. It's usually where they put us. And beyond that, so that's 3. So that's 3 gaming ones. That's where we'll talk about the nitty gritty, not about game design, but about basically, okay, I have this project now. What the heck do I do with it? Because we had I'd say pardon the figure, but no, it absolutely was it's a valid statement, a crash course in manufacturing card games when we released the new game. So there is that. Let's see here. For this one, our militia are going from here to here. We scout. We're starting here. They're going to end up here. So there's the 3 gaming panels that I'm doing. I've got 2 literary panels. One of them is going to be with Gene Davis and I are doing a panel on, well, last one time we did it, we called it Creating Captivating Characters. And for this one, we're calling it creating characters that people love, and in parentheses, or hate. So that was a very fun we've done something similar in the past, which has been really, really fun. And Gene and I have very similar styles to Insanity. Am I saying Gene Davis is insane? She's a writer, so generally. Don't worry, I'm saying I'm insane too. But our methods to madness are very different in some ways and very similar to others. All right, we're about 30 seconds away from the ad break. So as we do this, once we go to ad break, and we're having weird, interesting stuff with ad breaks, whether they hit on time, whether the mobile version hits at the same time the full version does. So okay. If you are here, I'm going to keep doing this. I suppose I should technically get used to talking through this because I believe heck. Yeah, we need to get used to talking through this because when we get supporters, they think they get to actually skip the ads. So then it's just us and them for a while, if I recall correctly. Alrighty, so we are back. That was a quick 3 minutes for me, anyways. Um, Thank you so much, Danielle, for saying that. We should be good for about an hour, actually, now. Theoretically. But as you can see, I got a whole lot done on this. Okay, I didn't get anything done. We're still trying to figure out this ad thing. So bear with us, you know. But so let's see. I talked about the live show, the live discoveries, the going broke-ish panel, the creating characters people love and or hate, and then my last literary panel will be with Gene and Lori, maybe somebody else. We're thinking about it. It will be another insert genre here and why you should still read it. Last year was old school sci-fi, the value of old school sci-fi and why you should read it, where he talked about some of the more problematic issues that are in some of the older sci-fi that it's still worth reading. I think we're talking about I think we're actually talking about fantasy this time. I don't remember, I'll admit. If so, we'll figure that out. I'll let you know, obviously, more as we go. And if you have not yet seen us on any of our discoveries, you really need to tune in. Those are every other Wednesday for now. We'll be going to every Wednesday eventually. But they are every other Wednesday right now. We are doing live world building in the hidden worlds, and everything we do is canon. So, and everything we do is influenced by you folks, of which Danielle is part of that team. What the heck? Why do I have options here? Okay. Weird. Anyways, in which our live world building has gotten us such awesome things as Florida Man and Florida Woman as cryptids, and their struggle with a retirement community watch, which was really funny. We did. It's all been really fun, honestly. All led by you folks out there. You give us suggestions, we improv it, and yes, everything that we come up with is then canon in the hidden worlds. Cool. What else did we do? Actually, I think my favorite so far, I've got two favorites. My favorite so far has been Victoria, New Orleans, and our amazing Mysterious Machinations Incorporated team. Which turned out to have Daphne as a that's my other tide. So Daphne as a Dampier as a team lead for the Victorian New Orleans, and then Fred was the only actual human, a Spanish gentleman pugilist, which is really funny. Gives him a reason to wear the ascot. Velma was what we call a corrupted, which is someone who has broken free of eldritch control theoretically. And of course, Shaggy and Scooby, well, we combined them because it was funny. We made them a Great Dane Thrope, which is really funny, in my opinion. And being Victorian times wouldn't necessarily be pot. Just saying. Shapes. See, you get me talking. I don't even know what I'm doing at this point. Team Hollywood. Yes, Danielle, that is absolutely one of my tops. But then again, I'm also a huge fan of Animaniacs. We basically decided that the Animaniacs were Fae, which, I mean, come on now, that's kind of an easy choice, right? So we decided that the Animaniacs not only are Fae, they're wild and crazy enough that none of the courts like them. Like, none of the courts. All three courts basically sought to put them away. And so when the courts put them away, that's the reason they're trapped in the water tower. Which makes the Warner Brothers lot really, really interesting. With all the warding and all that stuff. And then we decided, sure, why not? Let's do that. And then let's go ahead and make the team that's going to do whatever it is. And let's just say we created a team that is, it's all demigods. Different. Everyone is from a different pantheon. Because why would they be from the same pantheon? Right? Yeah, that's... Whew. Uh-huh. That was a really, really fun one. I mean, if you've ever watched Animaniacs, you can't tell me that they're not Fae. So... Sorry, I have to remember what I'm actually doing here. Okay, all that being said, any thoughts? I know, Smoketail, you're sticking around. You're hanging around. Let's see here. Okay. You must be having some interesting stuff popping. But that's why Danielle makes an awesome moderator. So, does anyone have any thoughts, questions about, well, anything related to Hidden Worlds or to One-Legged GM, that sort of thing? Because, frankly, whoa. Okay, this is a bit... Oh, I get it. My moderators are actually breaking the rules. All right, I get it. If you know Danielle, they weren't breaking the rules. It's just we have a really high mod, auto mod going on because, well, I don't want to deal with it. And they don't want to deal with it. So, all right, what the heck? Green. Started from there. And it's back there. All right. It's interesting that that ends up back there. Blue ends up there. ends up there. And Poiple ends up there. Yes. So anyways, yeah, if you have any questions about gaming stories, I mean, I can tell gaming stories. I can talk about writing stories, because I have it was a very interesting process to write the original trilogy. What we're doing here, what's next for all the others. Let me know. Pop into the chat, and we'll see if I can answer some questions. Oh, cool thing. So we're in the middle of testing for Fringe, Fazanther's Guide to the Fringe, which is our sci-fi setting for the role-playing game. And we've been kind of looking forward to it a lot. And it got really... I was having a real hard time figuring out what to do with faster than light travel. Kind of gotta have it, but I didn't want the instant punch it Chewie, because frankly it takes away a lot of options for the GM. So we've been working on it, and I'll admit I got really inspired by a book that I'd say read, but I listened to it. We've kind of done interstellar travel really different. So it's very much a process where you still have interstellar travel. However, you have to jump from way outside the gravity well of a star and or planet and or insert heavenly body here. Which means if the planet or starport is in system, as most of them are, you have to travel to them at less than optimal speeds, less than light speeds. There are also on the outer. Well, all right. So what does that do? What does that do for travel? Well, it does a couple things that I really like. As I said, it slows stuff down a lot. So you have anywhere from days to weeks to get from wherever you're at in system to outside the gravity well. Obviously, a larger or a much more a much higher gravity field around a more dense star. You have to go further out to do that, which is cool because there's downtime there. There's travel time to and from, but then that makes the jumps instant. But you're jumping into a spot. If you have one of those drives on your ship, you're jumping into a spot where you have to then basically coast and slow down as you enter the system. So it's far more real world physics-ish than any magical punch it Chewie light speed stuff. Not that there's really anything wrong with that. It's just not what I wanted as a feel. There's also a gate network that has interstellar gates that very specifically only connect to one destination. So if you want to run multiple destinations in a system or from a system, you have to have multiple gates, all of them far enough apart that they're not interfering with each other, all of them on a time schedule, because everything has a time schedule because it's one-way passage. So it's a much more complicated proposition than just bouncing gate to gate to gate. And then what else? Yeah, so that's kind of the FTL choices we made on purpose. But we've been kind of puttering around trying to figure out what that was going to look like. Okay, I've been the one that's been struggling to try and figure that out because it has to feel right for me. Not that I'm all that, but it's kind of my name and face on the book. Well, my name and logo anyways. So I wanted to get it right the first time so we didn't have to worry about it again. Yeah. So that's Interstellar Travel. Now that that's done, I just have to do some setting work. We have, I want to say 8 species, 8 playable species. Humans aren't one of them. We did something really fun with humans to make them playable, but not boring humans. They actually get talents and stuff due to a specific heritage for story reasons. So that was an interesting thing. That was interesting. Sorry, I'm laughing because I use, like a lot of streamers, I have a little box that I use for switching scenes and that sort of thing. So when I get it right, I get it right. I started using more and more, so I decided to go ahead and get I was going to get a bigger box. But I found that software works. There's an app for that. So I got the app, and there's one weird little glitch that every so often icons start swapping. Not function, just image. It was just doing that. That's why I was laughing. There's no good way to do this. So, anyways, Fringe is coming up. So we can get to it. Yeah, and I realize I've now spent an hour working on this one image graphic. But it's kind of fun to chat as we do this. Smoketail, if you're still out there, what else do you want to see for Hidden Worlds? Any thoughts? Any requests per se? I think it'd be interesting to find out your perspective. Oh, where I was going with Fringe and why I was talking about it. Yeah, today's not one of those days. So the reason I was talking about Fringe is I'm starting a brand new campaign with an idea that one of my team had on our way to Cherry Capital Comic Con in May, which is in Traverse City. He had a great idea, and then I heard it and we ran with it for the modern day stuff. And I decided to run, since we're playtesting stuff and I need to break the system in some places, I thought, well, we'll just do that. And that idea is we're putting together, so we are creating, to start this new playtesting campaign, we are creating 20 some odd I'm creating 20 some odd characters, various backgrounds, various aliens in this case, everything from standard gunner to medic to, anyways, all the fun stuff, right? And what's really interesting is that not what I wanted. Wait, why couldn't you do that? So we're creating 20 characters, and we're going to basically put them in one pile. So we are creating, effectively, in Fringe we like to call it a troubleshooter team, which it's a what are they called? Multi-disciplined team, to use big words. Anyways, so this multidisciplined team happens to work. It allows us to have a very episodic campaign that if somebody doesn't show up, we can still do it. Basically what we're doing is when we start a campaign, I'm going to lay out all right, here's the mission for this. Here's the mission for this session. And then the players, whoever is there, is going to pick out a character from that portfolio and play that character. So if it's an infiltration thing, they're going to pick out a bunch of rogue-y type characters. If it's rescue, they may pick out combat, medical, whatever. But it allows us, so if I have all 6 players there, cool, I can run 6 players and enjoy it, right? If I have 3 players there, we can still play something. The reason I bring this up is because we are going to be doing, for Fringe, I'm going to be taking a crazy amount of notes, and we're going to actually publish this as a collection, as a story collection and a character collection. For new GMs to the Fringe system when we release it. So we'll have something ready to go where a GM can go, all right, picked up the core, I've got the Fringe setting, let me go ahead and get this, and I have 25, 30, 10, 25, 10, 20, 30 some odd one-shots that are somewhat kind of aligned with 20 plus PCs and or NPCs, if they want to pull one out and make them an NPC. I thought it was a really interesting idea. Thank you, Jason, for that, by the way. And so we're developing that. And if it works out well, I also want to do a couple of those, frankly, for the modern day monster hunting setting of Refined Core. So the base setting. Because I think it's going to be really, really fun. And it's something we can do in print and not worry about. We're not going to do pre-gen character sheets. We're going to just have the listing in there for what they actually have to start with. So you can fill out your own character sheets or whatever. That way we can save some money. We don't have to do color, perforated, all that fun stuff, which costs more and more money to do. But I think it's going to be a whole lot of fun. to do, both for me, because it means I don't have to tailor everything to a very specific set of players. I can say, all right, here's the broad parameters of the mission this week. Pick out the characters that you think match what you want. So as a GM, it's very freeing. As a player, I think it's going to be very freeing. Yeah. What do you folks think? Smoketail, you like the idea? Danielle, how about you? I know it's kind of something we've talked about a little bit, but not much. I think it'll be a fun idea for everybody, honestly. And it allows for a lot of freedom in the game, or a lot of freedom in the planning for a campaign. Yeah, it's, and in fact, there's a lot of folks who release like one-shot collections, which Lairs and Legends is, or Legends and Lairs, it's L&L to me. There's Lairs and Legends and Loot and Lores in the two books that are in this set that I'm working on right now. This is basically kind of all right, here's some one-shots, here's some mini campaigns, here's some resources. I like that idea, but oftentimes you're still stuck with whatever player you're doing. Oh, they stay still. Nice. Cool. Which is, great for some people. And nothing says you have to use different characters in this. But it's going to be a really interesting idea, and I really like it. If it works out well for Fringe, it's something else I want to do for, like I said, Refined Core. Basically, all right, here's a bunch of loosely connected one-shots, and here's a team of 20. Whether it is, we could do actual special agents from the OTA, from Section 28. We could do private organization. We could do a multi-agency thing. So a lot of, the sources are very, very wide. And have a lot of fun. Now, all that being said, I need help, because we need to start developing this stuff. I have all these ideas I want to run with. Absolutely. So Danielle, yes, the list that we came up with on Wednesday, but by the way, if you missed it, we didn't come up with just one scenario. We came up with a crap ton of scenarios and kind of monsters and stuff. I'd like this could be what we end up doing with the Great Lakes side of things. And yes, Smoketail, that's the idea. Is we've all been that new player at one point or another where, crap, which points do I put where and how do I roll this thing? Danielle, it's not just being creative, it's being creative, basically working 2 full-time jobs if you include this stuff, and being truly ADOS in real life. So for those of you who have not played the game, that's Attention Deficit Ooh Shiny. Literally, my company's name, by the way, is ADOS LLC. 'Cause, yes, too shiny. Anyways. But I would like to get, I'd like to develop this. And I want to start working more with other devs, which, by the way, is a paid opportunity. You're not going to make a mint because we're much smaller than right now, anyways. Yeah. Smoketail, I feel that, and then add on 40 plus hours of doing this stuff as well. And I do have a family which I like to occasionally see. And I have a wife who I'd like to occasionally see. And I have a bed that I'd like to occasionally see as well. All of those are kind of necessary at some point. So, yeehaw. Yeah. It's analysis paralysis is what I call it. It's that, all right, that's what I'm going to, I have all this stuff that I need to do. I need to figure out what I do first without, this. Well, this stuff. Yeah. I feel that in my bones. So forget to merge those. And yes, Motel, I kind of enjoy the rambling discussion here. Not that because I like the sound of my own voice, but just because it is kind of fun to just free flow stream of consciousness stuff with no real agenda. But yeah, that is on the list. And by the way, I posted on the Discord as well, but I would like to at some point start developing people. We do. So I do compensate anybody who writes for me. We actually do a residual base with a lot of kind of very specifics in there, but people who do medication, I do a residual payout for what we sell. And that's not a limited, for the first year or whatever. That's as long as we sell that project, you get funding. So the bigger we grow, the more. Here's the thing with gaming companies. The more stuff you have to support your game, the more your game sells. So the more stuff we put together, the more stuff we sell. And when somebody gets into it, then they buy all of it. And then they'll get their friends into it. One of those will buy all of it. And so it's that constantly growing thing. But I pay residual. I do payouts for residuals for the lifetime of the product. So it's an open call if anybody really wants to earn some money and do some stuff. I'm not guaranteeing riches right now because we don't have the built-in audience yet. But I do like to pay out residuals because everybody should be compensated for what they do. It's not worth it if being a fan is awesome. If you're putting creative work that I'm making money off of, I really do try to compensate everybody if at all possible. Yeah. Yeah. That's fair. I do need to kind of write that template. Danielle, I'll try to work on that. Bug me offline on the Discord server. That's a whole nother. See, again, talking about analysis paralysis and the ADOS, Or I'm thinking, all right, bug me on the Discord server. Oh, wait, before I do that, I have to rearrange this. Oh, that means, that's right, I was planning on doing this to the Google Drive. Oh, that's right, I was planning on doing this. And I just ping-ponged around my own skull there for 30 seconds. It sucked. But it'll work. I would actually like to do that a lot. I think it'll be fun. We've tried a couple different things with the game and the dev team. I think I have an idea more of what will work for us anyways. Problem is, every time we try to be like somebody else, we're not like somebody else. We are different. And I have to remember that. That's why we don't have a Patreon. Because I want to do it differently. I want to do it in our time. However, I think I saw earlier Danielle put the link to Stealing Scenes Action, the new card game, in the links. I've actually now enabled on all of the products I stock local pickup to save you some shipping. Again, bing, 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 bing. Yeah, Patreon has become a lot like a lot of the other platforms where it just, if you've got a great base, great, you can actually make money on a Patreon. If you don't have a great base, well, you're boned. Because, well, and it takes so long to build up that base anymore. That, and I've got some personal weird thoughts about how they do things and how they tend to limit folks based on politics now more than anything else, which kind of sucks. Yeah, that'll work. So, well, yeah, you know, the big names, Kind of Funny Games, you know, Matt Dinneman makes a killing, Dungeon Crawler Carl makes a killing on Patreon because that's where his target audience is, and it's worth it. My problem, well, and Patreon requires a lot of extra material to make it worthwhile for the people who are there. You got to be coming out with new stuff every week or every month or however long your schedule is. I wanted to do that. I'm not disciplined enough to do that right now. So, doing that doesn't work for me. In fact, at one point I had plans to do a similar function because I have that capability on my website to do a similar function other than Patreon, which meant I actually got to keep more money because Patreon isn't taking part of it. Well, the problem is that I don't have the I don't have the production right now to do it. Now we start spewing out stuff. I may open up the monthly levels on my own website. So it won't be just Stump Squad, but it'll be more than that. But yeah, it just is. It's a struggle to find the thing, you know. I still have a YouTube channel. All the videos that I do here on Twitch end up going to the YouTube channel just for my YouTube followers. But honestly, it takes so much now to get monetized on YouTube. And with some of their recent rulings, crackdowns, but for Twitch, it's easier to get monetized. Not that we've made a whole lot. Last I checked, I made 1 penny so far. Keep watching them ads. Sorry. But it's such a weird struggle in today's market to get what you want to get. Everybody wants to be an influencer now. And let's face it, it's not easy to do anymore. Used to be if you were at least interesting and stuff, you can monetize your channel fairly well. Whether it's Insta, TikTok, God rest their soul, Twitch, whatever. Yeah. And I just I'm not into fighting the viral thing. That's part of my problem. I had someone tell me that I needed to get more videos up on, start putting videos and stuff up on Insta and TikTok and stuff. And Facebook. And I just am like, First of all, I hate all of the above with a passion, especially TikTok. And I don't much like yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's weird. I do eventually need to try something. But it's been tough to find the time. That's an actual find the time, not just, not just an excuse. Between some recent medical issues and the deadlines for this project here, things have been a little hairy. So when I first saw the instructions to set up this image project for this project, I was looking at the instruction going, this is going to be complicated. It's going to take me forever. Yeah, it's not. Ooh, that was bad. It's just repetitive, which is a bummer. So it was there. Cool. Yeah, you're absolutely right. We need to start clipping and tossing them up. I need to get fans to do that because yeah. This has actually been fun today. Not that I'm surprised about that necessarily, but realized I missed doing this with you folks. Ooh, that's ugly. I must not know any I must not know the definition of certain musics because I don't know how this qualifies for EDM. But whatever. It's actually very pleasant to listen to. Whatever it's called. Smoketail, you're not a poor fan for not being able to do that. It's just you. I can generally tell the difference between rock and metal. It's tempo generally, and length and size of hair usually. Although that may just be my upbringing in the 80s. We're at 5:30, almost 5:21. I would bet in about 5 minutes we'll get the 5-minute warning for another set of ads. Another ad. Let's see how it is. All right. This is what the instructions show. Now, I need to figure out what the heck I need to type in here. That worked. Black. Problem with social media right now, one of the problems. First of all, it's a giant echo chamber. Because of the algorithms, you will get put with the same within your little circle. For good or bad, however you want to look at it. which my algorithm is confused because I have a lot of friends and a lot of different viewpoints. And I look up a lot of weird stuff, so because I'm an author. So my algorithm gets confused easily, which is really funny watching the Facebook shorts. Yeah, that's the problem. There are some things I'd like to repost, but it will get... We have very little civil discourse in this nation right now. I blame our electronic isolation, frankly. Cool. Thanks for the notification, which, yep, right on time. Sweet. Yeah, I post funny stuff or gaming stuff because it's usually safer. And my funny stuff is, again, my favorite one to repost is Maggie Weber. Weber, I think. Anyways, Refashion Tippy. If you've never seen any of her stuff, first of all, look her up because it's freaking hysterical. She's the one who I always repost with, that is always talking about poor design choices. And her motto, which I've started using myself, is just show one 13-year-old boy. Yeah. Just one 13-year-old boy. So, because they will tell you, and they have a... Of course, I get the joke, so apparently I have the mentality of a 13-year-old boy occasionally. Which should not shock anybody, frankly. Smoketail, was the 3 minutes of ads super annoying, or did it go by quick enough? Granted, it's a giant survey sample of one, but I'm just curious. I'm absolutely okay with that. Yeah, I don't repost any of Maggie's stuff that's skirts above PG-13 usually. And there's some stuff that is... She occasionally posts some spicy stuff. Yeah, I agree. I'm glad that I only have to do 3 minutes every hour. So, backside of Twitch side stuff for the ads, depending on how many ads you do determines your revenue, your percentage of revenue based off of ad clicks. Which means that so there's a if you're less than 3 minutes of ads every hour, you only get 30% of ad revenue. If you're 3 minutes or more every hour, then you get 55%. Now, if I can cut together 2 minute 30 ads for my stuff, that actually counts, which is interesting. Now, I don't get money on my own ads, but I can actually physically run my own ads instead. Anyways, weird stuff. We're still sorting through a lot of that stuff. So interesting Subaru ad. I probably have seen it. My favorite car commercial of all time was, oh golly, early 2000s. I've always been a huge Porsche fan. Okay, a Porsche fanatic. I love it. Not that I will ever fit in one. But when they first came out with a Cayenne, which is their SUV, they came out with a Cayenne Turbo, which had the same straight six turbocharged interesting. So the Cayenne Turbo had the same straight six turbocharged engine that the 911 Turbo / 930, which is the actual official designation, the Porsche 911 Turbo or 930 had. The most brilliant ad I've ever seen, honestly, to this day. It starts out, all you hear... 3 minutes, cool. All right, I can finish this then. So all you hear is this... It opens up on a shot on Suburbia. You hear this engine revving, just woo, woo, that kind of thing. And that's all you hear. It's echoing, and then it gets closer and closer and closer. And then it shows a tailpipe. And then you hear the engine stop. You see a tailpipe with a phone. You hear the engine stop, and then you see feet underneath this car step out, walk around, picks up the phone, and the guy just holds it up to his face. Yep, that's what I meant, and walks off. And that's the ad. The dude was your suburban midlife crisis guy for a turbocharged SUV. It was the best ad placement, the best ad design for perfect target market that I've ever seen. And it was funnier than snot. Because you're like, what the heck is going on? And then, yep. Okay, that's interesting. I'm just going to ramble because I don't know, because my thing still says 1.5 minutes till the ad starts. I need to talk to somebody who does this. So we're just going to keep rambling. Whatever. We'll figure it out. Or we won't. I mean, let's face it. If you can still hear me, let me know when we're back. Yeah, that's true. Obviously, you can still hear me during this. Probably as a mod, you're probably exempted from the ad stuff. Well, the ad break thing. Ad break ends in 30 seconds. Okay. Weird. I wonder if it reverted to a different timing thing. Whatever. I don't even care right now. We will figure it out later. Eventually, maybe. All right, so we're back apparently. Maybe we'll figure this out. Maybe we won't. So, just so you can see here, so now we're actually talking, these are the rules that about the movement timing, which are brutal. Nope, I don't need that. I need additional purple. Purple is Archer. Archer. 15. Who was horseman? Tidied up. Okay. Scout, we need the green. Archer is purple. Isha is red. Horseman. I do that there. Cool. Make that a group. So gonna need changed. Excuse me. Let's see here. Let's do that. Cool thing about Photoshop is that when you adjust something that you've left as a vector format, it actually changes the vector. Remember from last time, vector there's two formats for images, kind of raster and vector. Raster shows shows what is there, kind of flattens it out. Smaller. Vector is actually purely mathematical, so it can scale without distortion, which is actually cool. Well, David, if you'd actually listen instead of just watch, not that I don't mind the watch. So this is actually a puzzle in one of Luke's books. Working on the Lair and Legend stuff. Which I got permission to do. So this is the one graphic that I need to create, which I'm fine with. So I have to create the others. I had hoped to get on far more than this, but this is apparently taking me a lot to get it right. Oh, let's see here. Let's move those up. 3 through 5. Actually, let's go. All right. Actually, no. There we go. Rules for statue movement can be moved up. See here. By the way, David, good of you to join us tonight. So there's an interesting factor into this where after the 7th round, stuff starts getting quick, shall we say? This is Scout and Archer. I need to change those colors. Alright, where am I stupid? There it is. Oh, this is not good. let's see if I can actually do this correctly. Is purple. Which is red. Oh, misspelled there. That's my one of my biggest fears is misspelling something like this and accidentally not saving the original file so I can edit it, which would mean I'd have to recreate the entire thing. That would suck. All right, let's see what happens if I give these guys not that much. It works. So all I'm there is just by adding that small drop shadow, everything becomes more legible. So as far as the game goes, we actually have plans for at least 2 or 3 more games in the works. However, they're all on hiatus right now because we're trying to figure out some sales stuff. So, yeah. So you may ask, what the heck are you doing, Brian? I'm muting out the harsher lines. So, yeah. So it's easier to read. Crap, that's not what I want. Save this. Oh, what am I going to save this in? Come on, Photoshop, wake up. I think I ran into this last time. L2, Lairs and Legends. That's it. Stand alone. where we get fun. So now that I've created all that, I have to come up here. We're going to copy that, come all the way down here, delete all those. File. Save as. Statue movement. So here's the fun part. In the monthly projects I do for Luke, they are in the RGB color space, red, green, blue. Put those three colors together in any combination, and you get what is visible on the web as far as color-wise. Print offset printing does not do that at all. So you have to actually shift profiles to what's called a CMYK. I don't want working. I want you. So when you shift to a CMYK, then the printer, the main offset printers actually use plates to print, and they put cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, depending on the order, to get all of the colors of the rainbow. All of that being said, you have to have it in CMYK for it to be printed well, and you always want to do it beforehand, because if you let the printer do it, they're going to screw it up and the colors are going to be off. Getting a red to show up in CMYK can be difficult, depending on the printer, depending on the file setup, all that fun stuff. You can do a CMYK in JPEG, but you cannot have a CMYK in PNG, which is a transparent mode. So what I have to do for this, things like these are actually Photoshop format files that have no background. So let's see if I can get something done before I call it a break here. We're going to call it in about 8 minutes-ish. Maybe a little bit before that, maybe a little bit after that. I don't know yet. Where am I placing? So I'm going to place with words flow. I like words flow. It works. Nope, I don't. I just did those. Let's see. L2. Oh, that's not it. Standalones. 07 to beseech the gods. And as usual, when we're importing, it's going to convert a lot of it theoretically to the correct. And what the heck did that do? Hiya. Can't remember if we are. Oh, that does not look right. That does not look right. It's been a while since I've worked on these. Cinzel, it's header 0, semi-bold 24. All right. There we go. And just like that, it fixed itself. All right. You're broken. So the cool thing is if you actually set up the template properly, and we've talked about this a little bit, but setting up this part with the styles correctly turns something that will take you hours to lay out into minutes, which is always fun. So let's go there. I don't like that. Split that there. is that supposed to go? All the Kingsmen. Okay. Whoop, somebody using the wrong format. So the idea for a lot of this is to actually put it first time chat. Oh. Danielle, do you see that? Bounce them, please. Thank you. All right, bot, thanks for the first time chat, but no. Well, we don't play that. So the cool thing with this project is I don't have to source the artwork. There's basically just a couple different pieces of artwork. There's a full page at the front. There's a half page that goes in here somewhere. And then there's a bust of one of the main characters. So, crap, I forgot I got to turn these to CMYK. Yep. Thank you, Danielle. You are awesome. I thought I already did this. Wait, is that it? Did I already do it? I did already do that. Okay, cool. Cool. Okay. I need the... my bust. It's okay. I appreciate you. Let me add this. The one downside to inserting PNG files as CMYK is you can't do PNGs. You have to do frickin' PSD files or Photoshop files. Which just takes up a lot of space. Let's go to Alpha Channel to get this tight. Boink, boink. No, let's go back. Where the heck am I going to put you? So that's got to be my priest there. All right. You know what? It's about 6 o'clock. You've seen me do something a little bit anyways. go. I'll get it right yet. More of that stuff. Yeah. So we'll see you later. I'm not going to do the Midwestern goodbye thing because, okay, I already have. Never mind. I'll see you folks later. Transition back to that. So yeah, we'll see you later. You have a fantastic day, fantastic week. Y'all are awesome. Y'all, this sounds like. Anyways, again, my name